So we'll leave it in the morning to go to a horse show. The owners will be here all day bathing their horses. The horses that are going to the show is Flash, Ringo, Bug, Trigger, and Ray Ray. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 horses from here that are going. I have a couple other clients that's gone to the show that they keep their horses at home. These horses have been here, and I'm going to go over kind of what we're loading up, what we bring to the show, and we'll talk about what we do to get ready for the show. So these are the horses that's going. I have how much food they get here. He gets 2 scoops, 3, 4.5, 6. So that's 7 scoops of feeding that we're going to go through. 7 scoops. We're going to have 4 feedings. So that's 28 scoops of feed we're going to need while we're gone. I know that my feed is 14 scoops per bag. So I'll need to grab 2 bags of feed, 1 bag of alfalfa cubes. We're just staying 1 night. A couple of horses are staying 2 nights. And then I'll bring 3 bales of hay for the 4 horses. And let's talk about some of the other things that we'll bring. So this is some of our show stuff out of my storage container here. I also keep my hay in there, so that's why there's hay all over it. But some of the other things that we bring, I have this box that has some hangers on it, the bridle rack hanger. I usually set up a folding table. There's some things in there we'll set on the table, and we'll set up a dry eraser board with everybody's name, showing what classes they show in. And I usually set out a bowl of candy with some snacks and stuff on it. So that's what's in here. These are the show pads. These are some racks that we bring. This is a saddle rack. The other parts of it are in the green box. This is a hat can holder with my bridle rack is in there. Here's some more saddle stands, a couple of chairs, and fans for each of the horses. We'll hang a fan in each of the stalls. We'll also need to bring buckets. We'll bring 1 water bucket for each horse, and we'll bring 1 feed bucket for each horse. And let's talk about my first aid kit that I bring and what I have in my first aid kit. Okay, so we always bring a first aid kit. Everybody thinks of bridles and saddles and the stuff that you need to show, but when you're going on an overnight trip, there's always other things that you need to bring. And I'll show you the things that I keep in my first aid kit that we travel with. There's just some Vetericyn wound treatment. There's some dextromethasone. And a lot of these are prescription, and you need to have a good reputation with your vet so that y'all can talk about when to give certain things. I have certain things that to give the horse to help carry the horse through until I can get a vet on the premises. So some of these things are prescription. I have, this is Previcox, and then I have more Previcox in here. I always carry Maalox for horses that get to shows and get nervous, get diarrhea, and I'll put Maalox in their feed, so I'll bring that. There's some wound scrub, wound cleaner. I bring some saline solution eye wash in case we get to a show and it looks like maybe some dust blew in their eyes or maybe some dust from their stall, so we can rinse their eyes. Bring some allergy medicine for me. I bring some Banamine in case a horse gets nervous and colics at a show or because of travel. We want to be able to give them Banamine. And then of course I have the needles and syringes. And I also carry a tube of Democidane paste with me. The Democidane, that's also prescription. That's in case a horse gets seriously injured and I need to sedate him until I can get a vet there. So I'll keep the Democidane. So that's the things that I always bring with me when we're traveling. The Maalox is for stomach, eye wash for eyes, Previcox for soreness, Banamine for colic, and then some wound treatment things. Just some basic first aid kit, first aid stuff that I always want to have with me when we're traveling. And I always keep this bag packed and ready so that we just grab the bag and go. I have more of the same stuff in my first aid kit. So that is my first aid travel bag that we always bring with us to shows. There's always a lot to traveling with shows, traveling to a show. And a lot of people don't realize as a trainer how much you have to bring and how much it costs to go. That's just like I've got to bring a water bucket for every horse, feed bucket for every horse, the bridle racks, saddle racks. I've seen shows where I brought $200 worth of buckets to the show. It was really expensive to travel to shows. If you travel yourself, you know, but multiply that by bringing 6, 8, 10 horses, it gets pretty expensive pretty quick. And then as a trainer, you're responsible for the welfare of these horses. They're in training with me here. I'm responsible for the welfare here. I'm responsible for their welfare when we go away. And I have a personal rule that I never want to be on the road driving with clients' horses after 10 p.m. I know a lot of trainers that'll drive all night and it works for them. My thought process is if I fall asleep driving at 2 o'clock in the middle of the morning, I'm responsible. I'm liable. That's my negligence. So I don't ever drive with client's horse after 10 p.m. If you're a trainer and you have some kind of personal rules like that, put them in the comments below. Let me know what they are. That's just one of the things that I do. And we'll gather up some bridles and saddles and other things that we're going to need. What I like to do is I like to gather everything up, have it sitting in one spot before I load it into the truck or the trailer. This particular trip, all of the owners are going to be hauling their own horses. I won't be hauling any horses, but I'll have to haul a lot of the feed, the hay, and a lot of the other tack. If you have any questions about hauling to horse shows, this particular one we're going to is about 2.5 hours away. It's actually a pretty close horse show. It's not very far at all. And all of these horses that we're taking this trip have been shown a good bit in their past. I believe the youngest horse that we're taking is Trigger. He's 5. Everybody's older than Trigger. And all the horses have been shown a good bit. So I don't worry too much about the horse traveling in general. If I'm taking a young horse that has not been hauled very much or has never been shown, there's certain things that I look out for, like the maylocks with the stomach, and you want to watch how nervous they are and how they handle traveling. But typically when I'm hauling to a show, if I'm hauling say 8 hours or less, I'll stop in the middle of the day, get me some lunch, give the horses about 30-40 minutes to settle and relax. I personally never unload a horse until I get where I'm going. And it's not a matter of worried about the horse getting back in the trailer. I know everything that I haul will get back in the trailer. It's a matter of just the situation. I can't control those surroundings. If it's at a rest stop or a truck stop or whatever, I can't control the situation. So I don't ever want to get a horse out of the trailer. I'll offer a horse water if it's a long trip, but very rarely do the horses drink. Certain ones will drink water, but most of them don't. So if you have any questions about hauling to horse shows or hauling horses in general, put them in the comments below. I've got a video where I talked about unloading coming back from a horse show. I'll put a link up to that up here.
And I made an individual change.
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Get across.